Hola todos, bienvenidos. In this video I'm going to go over my expenses for the average week in my life in the Midwest as a stay-at-home mom. I live with my husband Tomas and our 5-month-old daughter. She is only nursing, so there's no food expenses for her. And at this time, Tomas was working at a job where basically the only expense for food was breakfast for him, and then the occasional going out to eat. Cuando fuimos juntos a comer. And then sometimes he would buy food for the guys at work. Like they kind of took turns buying food for everybody and sharing whatever it is. This is literally just what I spent this week. Has no breakdowns of cost of living like water and electricity and rent and all that kind of stuff. Literally what came out of my bank account during this week. If you'd like a video on actual cost of living, comment down below. I'd love to do that in the future. Soy Darlene, a Spanglish speaking mama vlogger, and on this channel we speak Spanglish, anything Nicaragua, and life as a bicultural family. If you're interested in this type of content, consider subscribing and let's get into the video. Day one was a Sunday. I started out with cereal because I wake up so darn hungry in the morning, and Sunday is usually the day que salgamos a comer, and I usually need something to hold me over until we get our food because I usually get up early to feed our baby, and then it's a little bit of a wait for everyone to get ready and get out the door, and then of course waiting for the food once we get to the restaurant. Of course we had the cereal and milk in the cupboard, so that was no money spent. We do generally go out to eat every Sunday, and this time was $30 total. Since Tomas works Monday through Saturday, we generally also do our grocery shopping on Sunday. No sé, pero we like to do it together. It's just something we like to do. This time we spent $90.85, which is pretty typical, somewhere around $100, and we do generally go once a week. Sunday evening, Tomas ended up pulling some meat out of the freezer, and which I chowed some of that down. Before leaving the house, I went to my friend's, and on the way I stopped for gas. That was $43.70, which also generally happens once a week where I have to fill up the gas tank, of course depending on how much I drive. I also made some iced coffee at home, so that was no expenses. I try to make it at home because it's way cheaper. So our total spending for Sunday was $164.55. Día dos fue lunes. Usually during the week I like to make myself 2 eggs and half an avocado for breakfast. Sometimes on a bun, sometimes with a tortilla, sometimes a little bit of mixed up meat in there. This time I got lucky and there was leftover meat from Sunday, so I cut some of that up, put that in my eggs, and had that with avocado. I do tend to snack a lot during the day, so I like to have a good breakfast that holds me over for a while, and then I don't generally eat lunch. I'll have snacks and then supper maybe kind of early. So snacking, I had some graham crackers with Nutella. I also had chocolate that I hoarded from Halloween, the super cheap sale the day after Halloween, and I drank iced coffee. I try to drink stuff a lot of times when I'm craving something to eat. That usually gets rid of my craving. For supper I had leftover fried rice that I had made before, and with some apple juice to drink. También normalmente I make Tomas's breakfast for 3 days at a time, so I'll just cut up some eggs, chorizo, green pepper, onions. Cut up eggs? No. I cut up green pepper, onions, and chorizo, and then mix that with eggs, split that up into 3 containers for the next 3 days. A lot of times he'll just bring that for like brunch-ish and then have a Pop-Tart for breakfast, like in the early morning. Like I said, sometimes he buys food for the guys, but I don't think he did at all during this week. He actually only worked a couple days this week. Monday night when we got home, I ended up making him a smoothie out of just bananas and milk, which he really loves. So we spent $0 on Monday. Día tres fue martes. For breakfast I just had cereal because I was feeling lazy. I also made 3 servings of chia pudding. I just make them and then have it 3 different days during the week. I had bought the chia with groceries, and then I also add a little bit of syrup and milk. Then sometimes I have that as a snack with Nutella or banana or whatever fruits I might have. I also had some yogurt covered pretzels that had been given to me as a snack, and then more Halloween candy. I actually ended up eating lunch, I think, because I had such a crappy breakfast. For lunch today I'm just going to eat leftovers again, so no expenses again. Uvas. Arroz chino, creo que dicen. Fried rice. Frijoles molidos. Encima de tortillas fritas. Y un café. My sister paid for it. And then they actually gave me a second one because they messed up the first one, so I remade it with my own coffee. For supper, since I hadn't eaten eggs for breakfast, I ate 2 eggs on a bun, and we spent $0 on Tuesday. Oh yes, also one of these days, también estamos pagando 3 hospital bills this week. One is $300, we pay it automatically every month, $156.75, and there's another one we're paying, which is $350.55. So I'll add that total in here. Día 4 fue miércoles. I had 2 eggs on a hamburger bun plus half an avocado for breakfast. Lunch we actually ended up eating at a restaurant. My brother paid for us. And then supper was a Christmas dinner at Tomas's work. And it was prime ribs, potatoes, corn, beans, and dessert. Very filling, and we got to take leftovers home. Again, for Wednesday, we spent $0. Día 5 fue jueves. We ended up going out for breakfast with my sister because she was moving out of state, and she paid for our breakfast, so gracias a mi hermana. In the afternoon, Tomas ended up making some rice pudding, which we had all the ingredients for. We ate some of that for kind of as a lunch, and then we had leftovers from the Christmas party for supper. Total for Thursday was $0. Día 6 fue viernes. We had some eggs with leftover prime rib for breakfast. I just drink water with that, which a lot of times I do just drink water with my meals. One of my favorite things to snack on. Gracias, hermana. I got these for free for a Christmas present. They're probably gonna be gone by the end of the day, even though it says sharing size. And it was kind of not that great of a day. We didn't eat really well. We filled up the gas tank again because we were doing a lot more driving than normal, and that was $40. So total for Friday was $40. Día 7 fue sábado. For breakfast we just had 2 eggs and leftovers. And then we left on a 4-hour road trip to visit our friends, so we ended up spending money on gas and snacks, which was $34.64. Supper was free because our friends fed us at their house. Gracias, amigos. This week we did really good, but we tend to spend more during the week because this week we had a lot of free meals and leftovers. I am going to Nicaragua, and I'm going to do a video on 1 week of spending in Nicaragua, so then we can compare these 2 videos. That will be a very fun one because spending is definitely very different there, mostly just like rice and beans and meat, and then we'll see how the prices differ from the US to Nicaragua. Hoy mi pregunta es, have you ever paid attention to every single penny that you have spent in a week? If you have done that, did you spend more or less than you thought? And do you have any power tips for cutting back on expenses or saving more money? Comment below because sometimes the community of people has the best tips and advice. Gracias por ver. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you actually try this challenge. Let me know if you do and how it goes for you. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, because that, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this video with someone who you think might benefit from it or might enjoy it really helps support me in my channel growth. YouTube has some crazy algorithm stuff, and every single share, every single like, comment, and subscriber helps greatly. I recently hit 100 subscribers, and I'm so thankful for each person that's hit that little red subscribe button. All you have to do is click a couple of buttons. Not that hard. I will see you next time. Bye!